just moments away from having it happen. And there it is. He has done it.
Just to enjoy and reflect on what a week it's been. But here comes Shakur Stevenson.
Picture this scene. Two warriors at their absolute peak colliding in what boxing fans have been dreaming about. The energy, the skill level, the pure drama of it all. This is what makes the sweet science so addictive. Reports suggest complete mayhem broke out. Check out how Teofimo finished this one. Teofimo Lopez took down Josh Taylor in impressive fashion, claiming the WBO super lightweight crown and stamping another elite title on his growing legacy. Lopez then handled business against Arnold Barbosa Jr., successfully protecting his WBO super lightweight belt and proving his championship reign was no fluke. At the same time, Shakur Stevenson was doing his own damage at the highest level, completely outclassing Williams Zapata in a statement performance that further cemented his position as one of the division's most feared champions.
Decision, the fighting pride of Newark, New Jersey, and still the undefeated WBC lightweight champion of the world.
When Teofimo was getting ready for battle, Shakur Stevenson put in serious work with Terrence Crawford, watching over everything in camp. Crawford was dialed into every single detail, making sure the preparation was flawless and the performance would be nothing short of elite-level perfection.
Start the year off right. What the fuck going on? We about to take this shit over. The whole family. You know that.
Shakur Stevenson gets his training guided by coach Ronald Sims, who brings serious expertise to every session. Sims focuses on polishing technique, developing fight strategy, and building the kind of conditioning that separates champions from everyone else.
Let me so you can point your fingers. I say that's the bad guy. Well, what I'm making good. Well, yeah, get ready. We need to be pushed today. Bring this smoke, baby. That dude ain't going to Keep doing it. Yep, that's right. Yep, that's that fight. July 12th, demolishment. We're gonna demolish. Guys way too slow, sports too sharp, too fast, too strong.
On the other side, Teofimo Lopez is grinding hard in his own training environment. He's locked in on building strength, perfecting his craft, and developing the game plan that will give him every advantage when fight night arrives. The commitment is total and the intensity never stops.
And your speed. Way more motivated this time, you know what I'm saying? He's got a lot to prove. You know, he's got to defend his Ring Magazine title. You know, he's the best in the division right now, holding the Ring Magazine by beating Josh Taylor. So, you know, we got to go in there and, you know, keep that belt, keep that Ring Magazine. Every time you throw a right hand, you got to pull back, go under. It's about motion.
This is exactly what boxing needed. Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez. Shakur understands completely what kind of talent and power Lopez possesses, and he's not backing down from the challenge one bit. He's stepping up because he knows fights like this separate the real champions from everyone else who's just along for the ride. Every single day in camp, Shakur is pushing himself beyond normal limits. His speed work is getting sharper, his defensive moves are getting tighter, his footwork is becoming more precise, and his power is reaching new levels. When these two step between the ropes, Shakur plans to be ready for war against one of the most dangerous opponents in the entire sport. Boots Ennis just sent a serious message directly to Teofimo Lopez about exactly how lethal Shakur Stevenson can be when the lights get bright.
I think Teo the truth, bro. I think that me and him came up together. He been the truth. He been winning tournaments after tournaments with me, alongside of me. So I know what I'm dealing with, bro. I know what type of fighter this is. I know I gotta up my level that night because of who I'm in front of.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, how do you see it, right? Because I hear people saying different things, right? Like media pundits and fans. I brought this up to your grandfather on live the other day. Some people say Teo's more athletic than you. Do you agree with that?
I don't know. It's hard to say who's more athletic. How you gonna say, okay, let's say they say he more athletic than me. If he more athletic than me, if we go outside and do any sport, any other sport besides boxing, can he beat me in it?
What you mean, like basketball or race, or running a race?
Any sport, bro. Is he more athletic than me? Because, like, how you gonna be more athletic than me? You can't do nothing better than me at any sport.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I don't know. I wonder. I don't know. I mean, he's an athletic guy. I don't know.
I'm from the trenches, bro. I come from the hood, bro. He comes from where, bro?
He say Brooklyn, but I don't. He be saying he's from Brooklyn, though. I don't know where he's from.
From Florida.
Florida?
He's probably born in Brooklyn. Yeah. He's from Florida. But I'm just saying, like, where I come from is like the hood. I go outside and play basketball every day. I go outside and play football every day.
Yeah.
Of my life.
Yeah.
So for him to be like more athletic, okay, cool. That's what y'all call it, but
man,
I don't know. We'll see you on fight night.
How do you envision it? I mean, I'm sure you played it out in your mind a bunch of times already.
Me just making a great fighter look average. That's how I see it.
Are you gonna fight like the Zepeda way? Because that was the first time we see you fight like that.
I can't tell you how I'm gonna fight. I fight different styles for different people.
Yeah.
So I may fight this way for this guy. I may fight the other way for another guy. But my main objective is to get the job done. Yeah. I don't care about like.
Ennis made it crystal clear that Stevenson's speed isn't just fast, it's the kind of game-changing weapon that controls entire fights, makes opponents miss badly, and creates perfect openings for devastating countershots. According to Ennis, Lopez better not sleep on Stevenson's boxing IQ, his ability to think 3 moves ahead, and his understanding of ring geography that makes him incredibly dangerous. When Stevenson moves, punches, or sets up combinations, there's serious thought behind every single action. That's what separates elite fighters from everyone else trying to make it. Going against someone like that means you need total respect, a perfect game plan, and the skills to adjust when things don't go according to plan. One wrong move and you're in serious trouble. Ennis is basically telling Lopez that Stevenson has the tools to take control, shut down your best weapons, and capitalize on any mistake you make. This warning really drives home what happens when elite fighters collide. Pure talent won't get the job done anymore. You need perfect preparation, smart strategy, and flawless execution, and Stevenson brings all 3 every single time.
Pick him apart. Pick them apart, and I gotta tell everybody that Wichcombe is real athletic too, Teofimo. So I mean, I don't think it's gonna be an easy fight. You know what I mean? People think, a lot of people say it's gonna be easy. No, Teofimo can punch and he can box, and like I said, he's real athletic. So you know what I mean? That'll make it a little difficult right there. You know what I mean?
I see a lot of people going back and forth with it. Some people think Teo got the advantage because of the weight and that he's athletic and explosive. Some people say Shakur is the better boxer.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
How you see that fight ending?
Well, they saying, you know, they've got the weight and all that. I see Shakur box big guys, light heavyweights and all that stuff. It's like, you know, big box heavyweights and put the heavyweights down. You know what I mean? I think that's the right move for him. You know what I mean? Get up, and I think he can really do good at that weight.
This isn't a stoppage.
I'm looking at a decision, not a stoppage. But then all according how Teo come in. If Teo come at him, you know, I mean, he's gonna run some shots. It might be over. You know what I mean?
Now, you always tell me it's the shot that you don't see coming.
That's it.
That power is speed.
Right.
So, could it be a situation where people underestimate Shakur's punching power?
Yeah. I think Shakur can punch. You know what I mean? I think he can punch. It's just, like I said, speed is power. You know, them guys, you know, muscle-bound guys come in and you talking about, oh, he can punch and all that. Like I just got finished saying, like you just got finished saying, matter of fact. The punch that you don't see knocks him out. And they always say, man, I didn't see that punch coming. That's the one you worry about. I mean, then you got to look at this. Shakur, he got speed. He a technician, man. He know what he's doing, man.
Roy Jones Jr. has some deep thoughts about how boxing used to be compared to what we see today. He talks about how respect, behavior, and character meant everything back in his day. Boxing wasn't just about being skilled, athletic, or winning fights. It was about proving yourself as a complete person with discipline and honor. Fighters back then had to present themselves with class, treat their opponents right, respect their trainers and the sport itself, while still making sure everyone knew they were dangerous and not to be messed with. Jones breaks down how old school fighters mixed discipline, smart fighting, and serious skill with a strong sense of doing right by the sport. They knew their reputation outside the ring was just as important as what they did inside it. These fighters understood that being a real champion meant treating people right while also standing your ground when someone tried to test you. Today's boxing scene often gets caught up in creating buzz, putting on shows, and getting media coverage, sometimes forgetting about these important values. Jones keeps emphasizing that even though boxing has changed, things like honor, taking responsibility, and staying true to your principles still matter more than anything. At the end of the day, he thinks a fighter's real legacy gets measured by victories and also by how they carried themselves, how they treated others, and whether they kept their integrity when nobody was watching.
To announce the fight. I don't understand the press conference. Shakur Stevenson looked confused about the press conference. Teofimo Lopez is known for saying outlandish things, but I've noticed over the last couple of years, he's making less and less sense when he speaks. Like, the types of things that he's saying at the press conference are just unnecessary. The things that he's saying and the way he's saying it, I don't know if it's nervous energy. I don't know if he's just trying to get a rise out of these cameras and people online so they can talk about him. I really don't know what it is, but I don't understand why guys do things like that. What does that have to do with the fight? What does that have to do with boxing? The only thing you might accomplish out of that is making Shakur Stevenson mad, and he try to make you pay for that come fight night on January 31st. I don't get that kind of stuff. See, we'll look at stuff like that and we'll laugh at it in the sport of boxing, and we won't say that that's affecting boxing or hurting boxing. We'll just say that's just the way fighters are. But we'll get mad at a Jake Paul and we'll say that he's ruining boxing because you don't like Jake Paul or the things that he says or the fact that he's making money in a space that he didn't grow up in. To me, these are the kind of things. Press conferences like that, when you got Teofimo Lopez saying some of the things that he said, that's the kind of stuff that give boxing and fighters a black eye. That's why when we walk in a room and people know that you fought for a living or you currently fight for a living, they expect a certain type of thing. They look at you a certain type of way, and you almost gotta prove that you're not that to be able to get some respect when you're speaking to people, because they don't expect us to be people who are sensible, people that can articulate their words, people that can be sensible about how they go about their everyday life. So I personally, listen, everybody goes about this fight thing, this competition thing different. I'm not saying nobody has to be like me, gotta be like you or anybody else. Be yourself, but that kind of stuff, to me, I don't really see a place for it in the sport of boxing. It don't make sense. It got everybody scratching their head, and your opponent who came there to talk to you about this fight, he wants to hear what you got to say about what you gonna do to him and vice versa. But you got an opponent in Shakur Stevenson who's confused now. He literally was looking around like the look that Shakur Stevenson had on his face was, I did not come here for this. And I think he even said, I really don't know what to say about it. That don't make for a good press conference to me.
Yeah, I know. But see, this is what I try to tell you about. I know y'all don't hear me a lot of time when I say it. There's old school and there's new school. Old school has something that been said. They would not have allowed us to be able to come face to face. Because you don't say it to me and think I ain't gonna try to tear your head off as soon as I get close to you.
Well, you're not gonna wait till a fight night. You're gonna get it in that day.
Because some things are because sometimes you go a little bit beyond respect. That's disrespectful. If you disrespect me on any level, we fighting then. Now I'm gonna try to hold it together but if you disrespect me, which is what he just did, I'm not gonna ask him about what he's talking about. When I get close enough, I'm gonna show him what I ain't talking about. You understand where I'm coming from? So there's a difference. That's why I say you gotta know the difference from the old school and the new school. Had he said that in my day, it could not. I would tell him, listen, whatever y'all do, don't let me get close to him.
Chris Algieri talks about why it's so important when top fighters actually step up and face each other, especially when everything is on the line. He sees boxing as way more than just playing it safe, protecting your record, or picking easy fights. It's about finding your limits, breaking through barriers, and discovering what you're really made of when the pressure is at its highest. When you face elite competition, every part of your game gets better. Your technique improves, your strategy gets sharper, your mental strength grows, and your physical preparation reaches new levels. These massive fights show what fighters are really capable of and separate the good ones from the legend. Sure, you can avoid tough fights and keep your record clean for a while, but that doesn't build real respect or create a legacy that lasts. Real champions show courage, bounce back from adversity, and actively seek out the best competition imaginable, learning something valuable from every single battle, whether they win or lose. Algieri believes this is what boxing is really about. These fights where everything gets tested against the absolute best, creating those special moments that define entire careers and make the sport better for everyone.
Each other. Let's have guys take the risk, and let's be okay with fighters having losses. How about that? Guys can have losses and still be at the top of the game. Why not? So this is a really important fight, I think, for the health of the sport. You have gone on record several times saying it's not going to be the best fight or, burning, raging fight, whatever. I think it's going to be an awesome fight because of the level. And it's one of those fights you're just like on the edge of your seat because it's so tight. Are they going to throw a million punches? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I think the level is going to be so high, it's going to overshadow that they're not that busy.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think it's going to be. I mean, you don't have to. You follow the sport, and it's not going to be like some type of shootout. But it's very important. I did say that numerous times. This is a very important fight. The Shakur wins. I think he belongs in the top 5 to 7 in pound for pound.
Shane Mosley emphasized. Shane Mosley breaks it down simple. When fight night comes, it all comes down to what each fighter actually brings to the ring on that specific evening. He's saying that things like power, speed, staying patient, and being able to change your approach matter way more than whatever the media is talking about or what the predictions say. Your ability to figure out your opponent, switch up your tactics when needed, and jump on opportunities when they appear usually decides who wins more than how famous you are or how much attention you get. Mosley wants everyone to remember that boxing isn't about who talks the loudest or has the prettiest record. This is a technical sport where making the right decision in a split second can flip the entire fight upside down. Getting properly prepared, staying disciplined, and being mentally tough are just as important as being physically gifted. And if you don't respect your opponent's abilities or get too caught up in your own hype, you're setting yourself up for problems. Mosley's main point is that boxing greatness gets proven by what you actually do when you're in there fighting, not by what people expect you to do from the outside. The real test of any fighter happens round by round, when everything is on the line.
I don't know if Shakur Stevenson is going to get slower moving up in weight or not, where Teofimo can hit him. Maybe he was really fast at 130, 26-30, maybe 35, but 40, you put on a little bit more weight. Shakur Stevenson has a very strong style where he can sit back and pot shot you and box and stuff like that, where Teofimo can also box and is very athletic and can get from side to side and make things difficult for you as well. So what style is going to impose on the other is what we want to see.
So which style will impose? Is it something where like the first rounds really will dictate, or?
I think you're gonna need a couple of rounds, but the first round is gonna be very interesting. Maybe you see some tails, but I think maybe 2 or 3 you're gonna start seeing one leave the other. Because I don't think that. Well, maybe. I mean, Shakur might show some different. If he has to go after Teofimo, he might show some different type of heart that we haven't seen, or different type of fighting we haven't seen, and vice versa. You know, whereas Teofimo's hitting him with different shots off the angle, that is kind of giving Shakur Stevenson trouble. We'll see about that. So we just don't know.
That wraps up everything for today. Keep watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.